Aloha Web Devers, welcome to CIS131 online. And seen a lot of very familiar faces, so a lot of you have taken 130 from me in semesters past, so welcome to 131. If you're new to me, my name is Kirsten Markley, and I will be with you on your next 16-week journey through CIS131. So quick overview, what are we going to be doing in this class? We are going to be doing what is on this home page. We are going to be adding JavaScript to our websites to make our pages interactive and become more interesting to our users. So in the past, we've had HTML and CSS, and it just made a static web page. But now we're going to add a little bit of, not animation, but interaction with our users. And we'll see what that means through the course of this semester. So I wanted to give us a quick overview of how to operate this class and how things kind of work here. So it's always kind of nice to... That's my dog squeaking in the background. He found his squeaky toy. So I'm going to put this on pause. No pun intended, you know, get it paused. Dogs, never, hang on, I'll be right back. All right, I have gotten the squeaky toy out of control there. Squeak, okay. All right, so if a dog pops up, you'll know why. Anyway, so the point is I wanted to do a little welcome video to get you acquainted with the class. So that's the goal here. So here we have the home page, which is the first page that'll come up when you get into Canvas. And there's some quick links here that you'll find. And all of these quick links will link to some page here in modules. In other words, if I click on tutoring office hours, it's going to take me to tutoring office hours. But just so you know, you can also get to tutoring office hours within the modules that I set up for you to get acquainted to the class. So I'll let you kind of click through those and see if there's some that are more helpful than others. They're pretty well labeled. But again, I'm just going to start here in modules. All of these, again, you can get through right here in modules. So there's some things in here to peruse and get comfortable with before the semester starts officially on Monday. Prereqs for this class, you can click on these things. Obviously, you know how to click. Hopefully by now you know what a hyperlink is. You even know how to make it work. So anyway, speaking of things you should already know, let's look at this prereqs for this course. So in this class, I expect that you have taken CIS 131, and if you haven't taken that 131, at least you're very, very comfortable with how to create an HTML page. You're comfortable with the structure. Ideally, you're comfortable with creating forms because we're going to be utilizing forms a lot this semester, validating the data. If you have some comfort level with Bootstrap, that's even better for you in this class because it's just that much quicker to get yourself up and running when we do assignments. It's not a mandatory, you don't have to know it, but I do expect in this class that you have learned and are comfortable with creating HTML and using CSS. You're comfortable with IDs and classes because this is Web Dev 2. So you're going to be asked to make your pages still look professional, and that's going to entail the HTML and CSS. And then we're going to add JavaScript to it. So if you're comfortable with Bootstrap, it just helps you get your page up and running faster, quicker, and so you can focus on the JavaScript. We'll talk about that in a minute if you haven't experienced Bootstrap before. The other things I would expect you to be comfortable with is I would expect that you have taken CIS 120 in your previous history here at OTC, ideally. These are concepts that I would hope that you're very comfortable with. So you might want to look these over and make sure that you are comfortable with what a variable is, what's a function, different data types, operators, plus, minus, those kinds of things. Arrays, a lot of times in this class students feel a little uncomfortable with arrays, so if you recognize the word but aren't entirely sure how to use it, that's okay. We'll get really comfortable with it within the next couple of weeks. Looping, hopefully you know what a while loop is, a for loop, and those kinds of things. Creating if blocks, these are all things that I'm not going to spend a lot of time on what they are, because I'm just going to run into how do we do it in JavaScript. You'll notice there's a link here to a PDF, and I'll talk about this book in a minute. But in this PDF it's actually a book that I found in PDF form, and all of these things are detailed in this book on these pages. So if you need to kind of refresh yourself, what is a variable, then you can look it up there, and hopefully that'll get some of the cobwebs off. So these are things I expect you to know already that I'm not going to spend a lot of detail on because we're going to use them in this class. All right, so what else do I want to bring your attention to? Prereqs in this class. Contacting your teacher, so that's me. How can you get in touch with me? Here's my office phone, although truthfully I'm rarely in my office. I'm mostly in my classroom, which is in NKM 124. I'm in there quite a bit. If you want to contact me, you'll find that I have an email address here. However, I would much prefer that you email me through Canvas inbox, which is right here, or you can message me in Microsoft Teams. And the reason I'm asking of this of you instead of utilizing my OTC email, my OTC email has lots of emails in it, administrative emails, faculty emails, and a bunch of other things. So your email may get mixed up or intermingled with other emails. So if you send it to me in the inbox, this is just for students. I will only see students in there, so it's much easier for me to find and get to your email quicker. So either Canvas inbox or Microsoft Teams would be my preferred contact to get in touch with me. I do have office hours. I will be in NKM 124 Monday through Thursdays from 10:15 to 11:15. It's open lab time for students, so if you're on campus and you'd like some time to work on assignments, doesn't have to just be mine, but any other assignments that you might have, I will be in that class, so you can ask me questions or just work on your assignments if you want, or just pop in and say hi. That'd be totally cool too. If these times don't work for you and or you are not on campus, we can make an appointment or visit through Teams, so that's not a problem as well. But you don't have to make an appointment during this time. I will be there. You can just come on by if you're on campus. When to contact me, not after an assignment has already passed. If you're having trouble with an assignment, please let me know ahead of time so we can work through it. Oftentimes I get in submission comments, I didn't understand the assignment, so I didn't do well. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. Why don't we get in touch with each other beforehand, and I can help you work through whatever issues you might be having. We'll talk about some other ways that you can get some help. I'll let you read through this. When can you expect to hear from me? Go ahead and read through that information, and so you'll know what to expect there. What else do I want to bring to your attention? Contacting you, especially since this is online, just as much as you want to be able to reach me, I need to be able to reach you if I want to give you some feedback, or I have some questions for you, or I'm just wanting to reach out to see if looks like you might be struggling or what have you. So as an OTC student, you are expected to check your email on a regular basis. So there's that piece. I will send announcements in both the announcements here in Canvas as well as in Teams in our general channel. So those are two places that you'll get class information from me if I'm trying to get information out to you all. You can set your announcements to email you if you have not done so already, and this would be the directions to that. The benefit there is you wouldn't have to go look in the announcements. It's automatically going to be in announcements here in Canvas as well as email you. So make sure, just as much as you expect to reach me, I would also like to know that I can contact you as needed. Let's see, syllabus, CIS policy on plagiarism. This is important, especially in this class. There's a lot of things that we're going to be going over, and there's lots of different ways and different frameworks and different things that are available in JavaScript to do the things that I'm teaching you. But it's really important to me that you do it the way I'm giving you in the material. So if I ask you to do something in a specific way, please do it that way. If there is another way to do it, for example, if I'm asking you to do something in JavaScript and I get a jQuery solution, for example, I would not count that because I need to evaluate what I'm giving you, and there's usually a specific reason why I'm doing things in a particular order. So if you try to get fancy and do it in a way that I didn't describe or I didn't give you material for, I really need you to do it the way that I'm in the way that I'm providing it for you, especially in this class. So if you so please make sure you do that, otherwise I will not give you credit for it. Also, don't give your work to somebody else. I really appreciate and enjoy collaboration, and collaboration to me means, and there's a fine line there, I know, but collaboration is hey, this is my computer, let me show you what I've done. And then team member 2, well, this is mine, let me show you what I've done. And we compare and work with each other on resolving each other's solutions. But plagiarism would be, gee, you don't understand what you did, let me just give you my code and then you can kind of figure it out from there. Because there's nothing to prevent team member 2 from just copying and pasting. I don't take fondly to plagiarism, and so just don't do it. Do your own work. Don't give your work to anybody else, but don't be shy to work with others. You should have different work and different logic order, and your code shouldn't be the same if you're collaborating as opposed to copying and pasting. So there's that. I'm especially in this class, and I know students get frustrated sometimes because they feel like I'm hampering their ability to look further and explore, and I get that. It is true, I am. However, there's specific things that I need to make sure that you understand, so please do it in the way that I'm asking you to understand it. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you understand. Sorry. All right, so what else do we need to go over? The book, obviously there's lots of things that I'm skipping through, but there's particular things I want to bring to your attention. There's this thing, the JavaScript Warrior, which I just talked about a few minutes ago. This is a book I really like. It's a JavaScript book. You can purchase it on Amazon. I don't think it's very expensive. It's like $30 if you like books as opposed to a PDF. But here's the book in PDF, and I really like the way this book presents the material. So I give this to you as a free reference. So there's the JavaScript Warrior series, and I will reference this book in the material throughout the week, so that way you know where to read if you want to do additional reading. There's going to be often times in this semester that we're going to go off book, so I will give you videos as well as different websites to learn the material. So we're not just going to stick to a book, we're also going to go out of the book and go into the internet. I bet you, did you know there was this internet thing? Yeah, it's super cool. So something else I want to share with you is there is a book that you had in 130. Where am I looking for the books? So in 130 you guys had this MindTap book. Don't get cringy on me. I know how what you're gonna say. So by clicking on this link, it should bring you into the book that you had last semester, which was this HTML5 CSS3 book. So you shouldn't have to pay for it again. It was a one charge for both semesters. And you did probably 1 through 8 or so, maybe 1 through 7 in CIS130. So this picks up where you left off with tutorial 9 or chapter 9 and so on. And so we'll use this book for reference for reading material also. So there is that. Let's see, how to ask for help. Let's see, the download text editor. So in this class, we're going to be using something called Visual Studio Code. So I gave you a link. Whether you're on a Mac or a PC, you can use it. It doesn't matter. Either one will work exactly the same. Please notice that this does not say Visual Studio, which has, I think, a purple icon. This is Visual Studio Code, and Visual Studio Code is very, very different. It's much more lightweight, and it's used very, very heavily in the industry, so in our industry, web development industry. So make sure you download Visual Studio Code and not Visual Studio. So that's what we'll be using in this class. Of course, you're at home and I can't really control. I can't reach out of a computer and make you do something that you're not doing, but it would be very good for you to use Visual Studio Code. Let's see, what else? Office hours and how to ask for help. So when you ask for help, this is really important. Oftentimes I get emails from students that say, mine didn't work, and that's it. And that's really not helpful, especially when we're in an online scenario, because then I have to email you back and say, what didn't work? What happened? And then, well, my function didn't work. Okay, and then I email back, well, what happened with your function? So please read over these bullet points before you email me with a question. Let me know these types of things. What is your code doing? What's happening? What do you expect to happen? Can you show me the code that you worked on? Can you show me what the output looks like, maybe with a screenshot? Have you troubleshooted? What did you try to do to troubleshoot the problem? So those kinds of things help me understand a little bit more, get a better picture of what's going on. So please be aware of how you're asking for help so that I can help you. Then the office and tutoring hours. So here's my office hours again. We already talked about that. You'll find me in NKM or by appointment. And then there's also the tutoring center. And in the tutoring center, you can go ahead and click on that when you're ready. The tutoring center has also in-person and Zoom tutoring. So those are some other options for you if you get stuck. Plus each other. So you will be doing, I don't think I have it posted yet, you will be doing a lot of group collaboration where I'm going to be asking you each week to team up or work with 3-4 other students in the class and share your work with them. Notice I didn't say it was a group project. It's a group collaboration. So when you're in an online scenario, which is what you guys are doing, instead of feeling, all alone and not having any resources, what I try to do is group you guys up in groups of 3 or 4 usually, and I'm going to ask you to get in touch with each other via Teams, and we'll talk about Teams in a minute. And we'll get more into the collaboration later, but the idea is that you will be able to get more support. You'll look at what other students are doing. Other students can help you if you're having trouble. It's another way to connect and not feel so isolated in an online environment. And I know at first there's students who feel very timid or uncomfortable with reaching out and sharing their code and meeting other students, and I recognize that. However, in the wild, in the big world, teams are worked on a lot, and so getting comfortable with that environment is a soft skill that's important, but it's also a support system. So when you're having trouble or someone else is having trouble and you can help them, it's a win-win scenario, even though at first it feels a little intimidating and like makes me feel nervous. So I appreciate the nervousness of it, but to me it's an important and valuable tool for you when you're in an online class. Let's see what else. Microsoft Teams. So Microsoft Teams is what you'll be using to meet up with each other in this class. So when you're doing that collaboration, you'll be doing it in Teams, and again we'll elaborate on that when we get to it in week 2. It is also, you can click to your Teams class in here. We'll do more of that when we get involved in week 2. But you can also message me in Teams. So if you want to direct message me in Teams, you're welcome to do that, and I will get to that message very quickly. But you can either click on your Teams class here. You can click on Teams here. Either of those will get you into the Teams class. So that is, again, a way for us to interact with each other and for you to interact with me. So we'll look at Teams a little bit more when we start doing collaboration. Discord, if you've been in CIS classes for a while, you know that we have a very active Discord channel, which is amongst all of our CIS students, and so it's a great resource. Tiffany posts job opportunities a lot. There's announcements of things that are up and coming. You have other students, other faculty, all kinds of CIS students, current and past, where you can ask questions and get kind of keep in the know of things that are going on in the community or in OTC that's CIS related. Important dates, you can look over that real quick. The important part of course the important part is all the college close days, right? So I will leave that there. We will have a proctored event, which isn't listed on there. You will find that in the course syllabus, which I will get to in a minute. I just thought of it. I didn't have the date on there, so we'll get back to that in a minute. Let's see, late work. Let's talk about that. So late work, generally I do not accept late work. However, I will accept up to 2 late assignments, projects, or labs that are 3 or more days late will be considered no credit earned. So for up to 2 assignments, you can, up to 2 days, turn in either a late project or a late lab. This does not include midterms, final projects, or exams. Please don't email me assignments. I won't accept an email assignment. Everything has to be submitted in Canvas. Right? So you also want to make sure that you submitted your assignment correctly. An incorrect assignment is still a late assignment or a not turned in assignment. So if it didn't upload, or it wasn't submitted correctly, or you zipped the file and it was empty, all of these are things you really want to pay attention to. All right, let's look at course syllabus real quickly. Some of these things are already on the course syllabus, but I can't pull up the course syllabus here. So I'm going to put this on pause for a moment. Can't look at my course syllabus when I'm in student view. So I had to put it on pause and come back and look at it this way. So course syllabus is always important. It's sort of a contract between the teacher and the student as to what is expected in the class and that sort of thing. I've gone over a lot of this already. So there's materials, there's a description of the class, objectives of the class. Here's my grading scale so you are aware how things are going to be presented to you. And everything is weighted. So you're going to have assignments or labs. Those are 10%. You're going to have programming projects where you're creating projects from scratch. That's a 30%. Exams, 20%. Final project, 20%. And notice your peer collaboration. So just getting together and chatting with each other and sharing each other's work is 20% of the grade. So if you're feeling like you're one of these students that I'm not going to do the group collaboration, I'm uncomfortable meeting up with other people, that's okay, but that takes 20% off your grade right off the top. So that would allow you to, if you got perfect on all of these, only get 80% in the class, which would end up being a B. So hopefully you see that peer collaboration to me is important. All right, so back in student view, this is what you should be seeing. We're almost done. I know this video is kind of long, but I was hoping that it really gave you a good insight to what you are about to get started on. You will notice that your week 1 assignment is already posted, and this is the first week. It'll be due the Monday after class opens at midnight. I'm asking you to kind of brush off those cobwebs and do About You in review. So you'll also notice in this module that there are a lot of videos that have been posted, and these videos are from the 130 class. So if you need to brush up on any of these things, there are some videos that I have left over for you, so you can go through those if you want to review. Here is some videos on Bootstrap, so if you want to throw yourself into Bootstrap, you have lots of time to do it now. So this would be a good time to get acquainted with Bootstrap if you aren't already. And again, I'm happy to help you with that if you get stuck or if you have questions, but I highly recommend it. And then, let's see. So these are just review videos if you need them. About You in Review is going to be due in a week. And I guess there's not a description here. There should be a description in the assignment. It's just to help you get brushed up on CSS and HTML. So that way you're comfortable and ready to rock and roll when we get into week 2. So I will not be posting anything else between now and week 2. So that should give you plenty of time to brush up the cobwebs and remember all of this stuff from 130 that maybe slipped out of your mind during the summer. So that is that piece. You can get started on that right away. All right, I think I've covered everything. Again, I apologize for the long video, but hopefully you found it helpful. We are ready to rock and roll. You are ready. Please reach out to me if you have any thoughts, questions, or concerns. I'm happy to help. I don't want to be a teacher that just throws information out and hopes that you do the best. I'm here for you. If there's anything you need, feel free to team me or inbox me. Use each other as resources because you're going to be your best resources. I found the hard way that I can say 3 times an ID is this, you use it for this, and it looks like this, and students don't understand it, but as soon as another student says, well, an ID is this, it looks like this, and it works like this, and all of a sudden students go, oh, why didn't she just say that in the first place? So use each other. The more you teach, the more you'll learn. The more you realize that it's okay to reach out for help, the stronger you're going to be in anything you do in programming. So welcome to the class. I hope you have a great, successful 16-week semester. And if there's anything I can do to help, please don't feel shy to reach out. Aloha.